Hello, hello! I'm just gonna cut right to the chase. I love Hana Ni Kaze, and I love this MV. I was so unbelievably excited to see the announcement for the VBS cover of Hana Ni Kaze getting a 2D MV. Guys, it's so good! I've been waiting for this full version for so long. So naturally, I watched the MV and immediately found a bunch of symbolism that I want to share with the world. This is basically my excuse to yap excessively about this MV. Obviously, I'm really excited, so let's get started. I'm going to begin with the 2D MV, and then I'll touch a bit on the original 3D MV and the Vocaloid version's MV as well. The 2D MV was released on August 4th, 2026. I'm basically going frame by frame for this thing, so the video's title is Overanalyzing this MV after all. If you've seen the 3D MV or the Vocaloid version's MV, you'll know the general aesthetic of this song. It carries over into the instrumental intro of this 2D MV, an elegant, empty streetscape. The torsos of VBS flash by on screen in the intro here, but I'll get to these renders later. Since the English title of Hana Ni Kaze is Wind Over the Flower, we'll be talking a lot about flowers today. It's hard to tell what these flowers in the intro are exactly, but my guesses for two of them are lilies and lavender. Recording Destiny here. Hi. I cannot figure out what these two flowers are. I've researched extensively and I cannot find them. I've put them through plant identifiers. I've Googled every keyword that I can think of to try to figure out what these flowers are, and I cannot. So I'm sorry. We'll get to their symbolism in a little bit, but if you know what these flowers are, please, in the comments, help me out. I cannot for the life of me figure out what they are. We really come out the gate swinging with this one. Kohane sits on a stool in her third Annie unit outfit as the first line is sung, and then on her second, it switches to her appearance before the events of the main story. A spotlight shines on her sitting in this barren room, with only some empty tables and a plain wooden chair behind her. Two pots of white flowers appear on the ground and on one of the tables. There's about 1 billion different flowers that these could be, but personally I think there's some sort of white cherry blossom, though they don't get quite this big in reality. Of course, white flowers often symbolize purity, innocence, and in this case, rebirth. An sings next. In her third Annie outfit, she sits with her legs crossed, staring at the ground. When the scene changes, An's outfit changes to her first unit outfit as she doubles over and hides her head in her arms. 7 pots of 4-pointed white flowers appear on the table. It's even harder to tell what these flowers are since they're also in some different colors, that being pink, yellow, and white, but they look similar to these time-leaved bluets. These are wildflowers, which represent resilience and freedom. There's also so many of them, which I'll come back to in a moment. I'd also like to point out that An's line here is, "I've been fooled so many times." Ouch. Thanks, light up the fire. We haven't seen the last of you, I see. Next up is Toya, who is also staring at the ground, facing away from the camera. Instead, Miku sings the second line where Toya also hunches over, hiding his face. His outfit also changes to his original one. A piano appears in the place of the large table, along with one singular pot of a 6-pointed flower. This one was even harder to find, and I don't think I'll be able to narrow down a specific species since I can't tell what color they are. If you have any ideas, please feel free to write them in the comments. Akito's line is the strangest, in my opinion. Unlike his teammates, Akito doesn't get a flashback to his first unit outfit. He doesn't get anything, really. He just sits there, eyes and expression hidden, with a single stalk of lilac held loosely in his hand. What I find interesting is that lilacs often represent renewal and first love, but some sources mention reminders of an old flame. Does that sound familiar to anyone? The screen zooms out during Miku's line just before the chorus, and static flashes as we see her hand turn off the TV screen. Before we get into the chorus, I just want to stop down and talk about what these scenes are depicting. To me, these are the lowest points in VBS's lives. Kohane's is when she had yet to join the group and was just floating through life without any sort of ambition. I think An's is probably just after she found out about Aunt Nagi's passing, hence the being fooled so many times, just to make sure the gut punch is still effective. Toya's is pretty obviously before he ran away from classical music, Or maybe still in the Nocturne interlude era since he's in his street clothes. Early Toya arc, regardless. Again, Akito is still a bit of a mystery. They could have done a flashback to his middle school days and the Crawl Green fiasco, but they didn't give him anything, and didn't show his expression at all. Call me delusional, but I think this might be foreshadowing. Okay, now for the chorus. Nothing too crazy here. Kohane and Toya are shown singing, and I say that because neither of them look like they're actually making any sound. They both look immensely frustrated. Kohane clutches at the cord of the mic, and Toya looks like he's running through choreography as aggressively as he can, and it's still not enough. Interestingly, Miku is shown standing alone during Toya's solo line here. The camera zooms in on her through the empty street, staring down a perpendicular alley. She turns towards the camera as Toya's line finishes, but we can't see her expression. The line here is, "We escape from this empty town while our breaths remain ragged," as Miku stands in an empty town, not escaping. Maybe the members of VBS are running towards her, or running towards each other, because An and Akito are next. An is actually singing into her mic, but she doesn't look happy about it. Akito's arm holding his mic is pulled back, the other arm completely outstretched in the opposite direction. His back is to the camera, unlike everyone else. Then, of course, as Akito gets his solo line, the camera follows his outstretched hand as he sings about selfish love and heading towards the darkness. The bridge brings us more of those same pots of flowers from before. I won't go over it again, but these definitely represent the members of VBS, Toya, An, Akito, and Kohane, respectively. I don't think there's anything that needs to be explicitly stated about this next pre-chorus section, except for Akito. As they sing, the members of VBS are now in the rain. They're all holding umbrellas that are the same as their character color, and everyone, or well, almost everyone, is looking up at the rain with a curious expression, something light. Only Akito has his face hidden by his umbrella, and we can only see the frown he wears. He sings a line about keeping jealousy inside of his heart. Aw, maybe middle school Akito is represented after all. Or current Akito. It could still be current Akito. Miku faces them all and puts up her own umbrella, back to the viewer. We're finally out of Pain Land! This chorus brings a more triumphant air to it, and the pairs for the chorus lines switch up. Akito and Kohane sing in the same poses as before, but they look a lot happier about it. Akito even looks like he might be enjoying himself. But he also sings, "I Can't Survive on My Own," as 4 VBS colored sugar cubes drop into a mug of coffee, so. You know who is known to like coffee? Yes, Miko, but mostly Toya. Miku is the one sitting at the table, though, staring out at the window as Akito sings, "Let Me Be Your Rain." Yes, An and Toya look so much happier. Oh, my platonic An Toya, I love you guys. Blue petals blow in the wind during Toya's solo line, and in direct parallel to Akito's line, he sings about heading towards the light. One to light and the other to darkness. I could think of about a million different ways to interpret this, but it's another sign towards a possible heavy-hitting Akito angst event, if I do say so myself. There's a rose here in the instrumental break as the silhouettes of the VBS members circle by. Roses are perhaps the most easily recognizable flower in terms of their meaning and symbolism, which is love, of course. But then the pot holding the rose falls and shatters before VBS starts singing again. Cool. This little section gives us confirmation of the different flowers shown before representing the VBS members, but I've already said that so I won't repeat myself. No, I firmly believe that lilies represent Toya. Do not look at the placement here, okay? Patience. You will believe Lily Toya. The screen fades, and when Toya sings again, Miku is there, holding out a microphone to the camera. Right when the big drop happens, we briefly see each member of VBS taking hold of the mic in tune with the music. And then we finally get to see their new outfits, and everyone's foreheads. Flower petals blow in the wind as VBS sing their hearts out, determined looks on their faces. I'll go over the outfits in a second when we can get a better look at them. Okay, yes, finally, the real reason I wanted to make this video. Everyone's actual symbolic flowers. The song continues in the background as the screen cycles through the VBS members, each with their eyes closed and a flower covering their mouths. Kohane has a gerbera, An has a sunflower, Toya has a lily, Miku has what looks like a variety of daisy, I think it's this one, and Akito has a dandelion. Only the dandelion doesn't cover his mouth because it's too small. The petals swirling around them are all in the VBS character colors. Now these flowers are all from specific cards. I can't find the one for Kohane, but On Sunflower is obviously from the Machi set. Toya's Lily is from his 4th anniversary card. It's covering his mouth there too. And Akito's Dandelion is from his Colorfest card. As for these flowers' specific meanings, Gerbera flowers don't mean anything by themselves, but if you take a look at their color and number, you get a different story. 1 red Gerbera means basically nothing, but 3 would mean I love you in particular. All of the other numbers also reference love and passion in some way. If you've watched any videos about the Machi set, you would know that the sunflower symbolism is very intentional for On. Sunflowers represent loyalty and intense admiration. Given that the event where the set is from, The Vivid Old Tale, is all about On's relationship with Nagi, I think you can grasp the rest. On's making it easy for us, thankfully. The lily that Toya has is a trumpet lily specifically, and those are representative of ambition and new beginnings. Lots of flowers have a meaning of purity, and the trumpet lily does too, but I think these 2 additional meanings are more applicable to Toya and his growth. Again, if you're at all familiar with Toya's basic arc, street music is a source of new ambition for him, so that comparison is also pretty straightforward. I'll only mention Miku briefly because her role in this MV isn't anything groundbreaking, but her Garden Cosmos Daisy represents peace and balance. Probably because she isn't really going through anything here and is more of a guiding hand for VBS. Now Akito has the final line here, and at the very end, he's the only one who opens his eyes. A lot of strange Akito focus, both here and in the 3D MV. I'll get there in a little bit, I promise. Dandelions are, of course, representative of resilience. If that's not Akito, I don't know what is. Again, I really hope you're at least somewhat familiar with Akito's arc if you're watching this video, because I really do not want to explain 5 entire focus events and then some in this video. I'll self-promo and ask you to watch my summaries instead so we can keep ourselves on track. The final shot of the characters features them in their nice new outfits, and if you also spend hours looking at the brand new world sprites like I have, you'll notice that everyone else's poses are exactly the same as their 3rd anniversary unit outfit 2 stars. Everyone also has their identifying flower somewhere on their outfit. Akito's dandelions are on the cuffs of his pants, On's sunflowers are on her vest, Kohane's gerbera is embossed on her tie, Toya's lilies are on the collar of his blazer, and Miku's daisies decorate her tights. Remember what the background looks like here, okay? It'll be relevant later. We get one last shot of the empty streets, mimicking the opening, and then the screen fades out to a light gray with the TV static. The text, "Run to a New World," appears as the ending frame, which is kind of like the current VBS arc slogan. It appears on the little arc ender animation that played after Over Rad Squad. We are finally done with the 2D MV. Like I said, I am insane about this song in this MV, so I may have gone a bit overboard with explaining everything I noticed. But we still aren't done because I want to go over the 3D MV a bit as well. This MV has been out for over a year now, releasing on April 7th, 2025, which is the same day that the second VBS World Link dropped. I think a lot of people, including myself, associate Hana Ni Kaze with the second World Link. I mean, the energy of the song perfectly matches the cards. Okay, anyway, on with the MV. The opening shots are very similar to the 2D MV, flashing over each of the members as they stand in various poses. Whether their eyes are closed, or the camera cuts them off, or their arm covers their face, everyone's expressions are blank and guarded. They're also standing in that same bland room from the intro of the 2D MV, though I guess this was first. It's got the same tables and chairs and everything. Oh, and in case you still somehow aren't convinced of the connections to Light Up the Fire, everyone's wearing those outfits in the 3D MV, because why not? When the chorus hits, VBS is transported to this 1920s-esque stage, like something you'd find on Old Broadway or maybe Las Vegas. They dance beneath the flashing red lights, and all of them look troubled in some way. Everyone's movements are desperate and then controlled, and then back to reaching out like the thing they've been searching for is just out of reach. There's so much emotion you can see in this part of the choreography, and this dichotomy of big, dramatic movements against mostly apathetic expressions is really interesting. They return to the room for the bridge, but this time it has more color in the form of big, whole-screen filters. It's like their entire world turns blue or pink or whatever the filter they decide to use. Toya's solo line arrives much quicker, and we're already at the final chorus of the song, where the shot pans out to encompass the entire room, and the back wall flashes with images of flowers before the beat drops. I see mostly daisies in here, which we already know the meaning of, but maybe some pansies hidden in there? The big theme is daisies, though. Hana Ni Kaze and all of that. After the beat drops, everyone is transported back to that stage from earlier in a swirl of red petals. This time, the screen overlay of the daisies is visible, and there are classic 1920s microphones on stands in front of everyone. There's a lot more gold overall in the lighting, compared to the very red composition from the first chorus. The choreography here is the same, so I'll skip that, and bring us right to the Akito fan cam. Wait, no, let me save that for after. It's a quick trip back to the boring room for the final instrumental section, this time accompanied by green spotlights for the girls, and the final shot brings everyone back to the darkened stage for a return to monochrome. Okay, yes, those Akito fan cams. When I first watched this MV, I thought it was kind of weird how Akito got both of those ending lines, complete with a solo shot of his face both times. He's also the center in the choreography for most of the dance as well. I'm a little surprised to see that they didn't continue this trend in the 2D MV, but the distinct lack of Akito is also raising some flags for me. Why give him all of this focus in the 3D MV, and then hardly show his face in the 2D MV? He's really closed off. I can't really begin to theorize what this could mean, as I haven't read Aki 6 yet, but something tells me those issues of his haven't quite been resolved. He is a Shinonome after all. This video is already really long, so I won't spend too much time on the Vocaloid MV. However, I do want to mourn the omittance of the ballet and the sign language that are everywhere in the original version. I was really hoping they'd include one or both of those elements in the VBS version, but they decided not to. We still got plenty of stuff for me to talk about, clearly, but I do wish there was some mention of sign language in the MV. Oh well. On that note, I think that's all I have to say. I had a really fun time making this analysis video. It's definitely different from my usual stuff, so it's been fun to try something new. I also love looking for meanings and connections in things, and I love flower language. Seriously, that and bird allegories are my favorite things to look for in media. Thank you for watching if you made it this far, and maybe I'll see you around at some of my other videos. I'm no less insane about this game and my other content. Take care out there!